Welcome to another special episode of Between the Studs. Lonnie, would you go ahead and open up for us?
Yes. Hey, I'm Lonnie Norris, and this is part of the Granite Ridge Builders team, including Tony Ranke, our president. Thanks for joining us today. You know, we are custom builders. We build homes in northern Indiana and South Michigan and also Northwest Ohio. And we enjoy talking to you about what we do, building a custom home on one of our lots or perhaps even yours. Thanks for joining us today as we explore the subject of
Plumbing.
Plumbing.
We've had so much enthusiasm from everybody talking about plumbing in the process. So we're going to continue that today. We're going to talk a little bit more about the evolution and the modernization of what plumbing is today. Do you guys have any ideas or some fun facts that we can tell our audience about what we've got today compared to maybe even in the past?
Well, again, historically, since 1963, the amount of copper that's been laid doing plumbing work could circle the world 200 times. And the reason we're able to do that much work is because of the modern tools that we have that make things go a lot more smoothly.
Well, I will tell you one thing. We've got water coming into our homes in a lot of new ways and in new places. We've got doggy showers. We've got spas. We've got incredible showers. We've got laundry tubs, et cetera, et cetera. Just incredible changes and involvement as it relates to plumbing.
And Lonnie, with all those new water sources that we've got coming into the house, we've created a way to shut off individual runs to all those sources.
Right.
That way you don't have to shut off water to the whole house.
You're right.
There's a lot of things that have changed with water in the house and getting it away as well with basements. I remember growing up with the trenches actually in the basement that were actually formed for the water to get out.
Yeah, you're right.
Now we have sump pumps and we have battery backup sump pumps and we have alarms for those sump pumps to go off so that we know that we can keep that basement nice and dry.
Yeah.
And when it comes to your selection fixtures, there's literally thousands of options when it comes to faucet styles, different finishes, different sink shapes and styles.
You really want to be able to finish off those special places like your tile showers and make them a focal point in your home.
So please, stay tuned. You are not going to want to miss this. All right, guys, let's go to our fun parts that we think the audience are going to love.
Okay.
So we're still visiting the wonderful world of plumbing. And with this, we've got lots of process to see again today. We're going to take that water through the foundation and into the framing stage where there's so much action to see here.
There is plumbing between the studs. And today we're going to talk about utility rooms. We're going to talk about kitchens, island kitchens particularly, and also showers in the bathroom.
Traps, mixers, spigots.
Oh, yeah.
Traps, mixers, and spigots. Oh, my. In the laundry room, we've got our hot water, cold water here for our washer and dryer. What else is here that maybe isn't as obvious to most people?
Right, so we showed this washer box in a previous segment. Now here's that drain actually hooked up to it, so it gives that washer a place to discharge. Now you mentioned that there was a Pea Trap. That's what this is right here. So that also plays into those gas smells coming up. That Pea Trap will always have a little bit of water in it, not allowing that gas to come back up through the house. And then it goes up through the roof from there.
And out.
Yep.
And then over here again, we've got a recessed dryer vent. We talk about this all the time. It makes it so that you can actually push both utilities right up against the wall there. But we've got another little blue pipe here. What is this?
Yeah, so this pipe coming in through here is actually the gas line. So this one is actually set up for either a gas dryer or an electric dryer. All right. So for either purpose, and like you mentioned, this is a huge Granite Ridge difference here, where you can push that dryer back a few inches, just making it so the washer and dryer are at the same level.
Little things that make your utility room run a lot smoother.
Standing on the other side of a tub shower unit, that's this fiberglass unit right here, and we talked about in a previous segment with Izzy, he brought me the shower valve. This is what it looks like when it's all installed. You can see they got a cold line coming here, a hot line coming here, and then with the control on the other side, you can actually regulate how much of each of those comes in before it runs up to the shower head, giving you the perfect temperature that you're looking for. And there's one other thing here I want to point out. Lonnie and I mentioned in a slab house, sometimes you're limited on where you can put that hose bib. Right here you can see one of those T-walls, which gave us enough room to get that anti-freeze hose bib located at that spot.
Some some of these rooms, it's kind of hard to tell exactly where we're at as we're showing you these parts and pieces. This window right here is a dead giveaway for what I'm going to talk about. So we're inside the kitchen. Underneath this window is going to be where our sink is going to be placed. So as we look at some of the lines we have down there, it's similar to the way it's set up in one of our main baths and what Luke referenced earlier. So we've got that octagonal hole there, which is going to serve as our heat run and then be in the base of that vanity or that cabinet. We've also got the hot line and the cold line and a drain line there as well for our sink. As we slide on this way, we'll look in between these studs here, and we've got a couple of things going on. So we've got this black pipe here is our gas line for our range. We've also got an electric outlet ran there as well, so that if folks want to choose between a gas or electric range, they're set up for both.
As we continue to talk about plumbing, we just got finished with looking at all of these stages in the mechanical parts, and we want to take a look at the finish items.
There's some important and some fun details when it comes to showers, shower doors, faucets, kitchen sinks. Let's take a look.
Many people nowadays are bringing that spa feeling back to their house and even including it in the shower. So here's your stud tip for the day. For additional $350 to $700, you can add an additional shower head in your shower, bring that spa feeling really back home. But here's the real stud tip. Make sure you do a constant pressure pump if you're in the country, or the similar feature in the city, to make sure that if someone is running the dishwasher or doing the laundry, you can still enjoy that multiple head shower with ease. Elizabeth, you're standing here in the shower, and this seems like it'd be a really easy choice for people, but you're telling me there's more involved than might appear to be.
This is a very important choice. We're actually in a one-piece fiberglass shower, which we see in most homes. They come in different sizes. We have a 3-foot wide, this one is 4-foot wide, or you could get a 5-foot.
And you're telling me that 3-foot, though, that sounds kind of small to me.
It is very small. It's very tight. So you need to reconsider if you're looking at a 3-foot. You want to go at least 4 or 5 because you do use it every day and spend a lot of time in here.
Yeah. And I see behind you, you've got 2 seats here. Now, is that normal, or do you do a lot of 1 seats?
This is normal. This is great because for a woman like me, you shave your legs, you can put your feet up here. There's extra room for your shampoos and any soaps. 1 seat is actually more expensive because this is really the popular way to go. So they make so many more of these.
I see. And you've got framing here, so I'm assuming we've got a glass door coming?
Yes, there is a shower door on this unit. They range around $500, and we do say, and we do highly recommend that you have a door on here. There is a small lip at the bottom, so you could have a shower curtain, but you do run the risk of water getting out onto your floor.
Well, what seems to be a very easy choice actually does have some things that you need to consider, and Granite Ridge designers make sure that you have every choice available and are educated about each one of them. One of the luxuries of modern plumbing, of course, is hot water. And when you think of hot water, it wasn't too long ago that you had to visit a hot spring in order to have a hot bath. Now you can have a hot bath on demand.
You know, what's really interesting right now is I think, every morning I get up and I turn on the shower and it like runs for a few minutes. Just want to get that hot water going in there, nice and steamy and everything. Do you know that the average American wastes almost 9,000 gallons of water just waiting for it to heat up? That's like 15% of your water bill is just standing there waiting for the water to heat up for your shower. And that's why those on-demand water heaters are so popular. Stay tuned, because we have JR and Lonnie going to talk a little bit more about it right now.
We're out here in Granite Ridge's 15,000 square foot showroom looking at some of these parts and pieces that we may have seen on the job site. And right behind me is our power vented gas water heater, correct?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So there's a lot of options. People will talk about natural gas versus an electric. What's the benefit of natural gas?
The funny thing is the electric hot water heater may be considered more efficient, but what are you paying for the resource? Generally, you're paying a lot more for electric than gas, so if you have gas available, we recommend a gas hot water heater.
And if you do want to deviate from this and choose something different, we've got another option right above you.
On-demand hot water heaters. If you have a large family or a large need for a lot of hot water, or if you live in a lake where you want that thing to shut off when you're not there, on demand, about $1,250.
Granite Ridge specializes in villa communities, and a lot of those folks like to travel and spend 6 months here, 6 months away. That is a great option to save money.
It may make sense. You're right.
And what do we
And
got
then
below you there, Lonnie?
This is a brine tank or salt tank. Brine and salt are one and the same. And we've got a stud tip related to that.
Yeah, oftentimes we're doing basement foundations, so typically you'll see that brine tank somewhere in the mechanical room down in the basement. I don't know about you, but lugging down those 40 or 80 pound bags of salt is no fun for anyway.
My wife is so excited when we can put this in the garage. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Making her lug those salt, jeez. So with a little bit of planning up front, for zero cost, we can get that brine tank up in the garage. Still
So
have the,
convenient,
Still
so
have the
convenient.
softener down in the basement, back the car in, dump the salt, and you're good to go without lugging it all the way down to the basement.
You're right. Hey, I got a stud tip for you. Clean your aerators. Every faucet in your home likely has one of these little aerators or filters that provides constant water flow and also takes some of the minerals and things out of the water. If you're experiencing maybe too low flow, which is a energy efficient thing, maybe but too low flow, then you need to screw this thing out, clean it with warm water, and then replace it. By the way, at Granite Ridge, we provide you a little key that helps you do that.
Kayla, how's this thing work?
Oh, you're gonna leave a mark. This is Tony's. That's not good.
Well, the next coming segments that we have are actually all about modern plumbing tools that make things so much more smooth and allow us to accomplish a lot more.
Definitely. You know, I think I might leave this job to Luke. I don't know, but I like the sound. This is a good one.
I like that sound.
Yours might be a little bit better. All right, let's go take a look.
I think I made a mess.
Okay, Kayla. Now he said all I do is put this in
Okay.
here and you need to crimp it.
Okay, and then I think I used the small one, but
Yeah.
I used to crimp my hair. I can figure this out.
Right. It's like beads.
Yeah.
too,
Okay. So
I
let's
think
try.
we've got it.
I don't know.
What are you guys doing?
Well, you said to try to get that crimped. I don't know.
Well, you were close. You were on the right track.
Okay.
So again, this is that PEX material that we talked about, and there's a couple advantages with it. You guys were on the right track. So if we do have to put a splice or put a shutoff valve on it, to get it to seal with copper, you used to have to solder that joint. If you
Okay.
didn't get it perfect, there could be a leak. Now with this, you simply just put this on here. If you want to hold that, Kayla,
Okay.
then squeeze it tight.
All right.
You squeeze that tight, and then it's crimped solid, never to leak.
That's pretty easy.
The other thing I
Okay.
didn't mention with the segment with Lonnie is that another advantage over PEX versus copper, let's say you do leave that garden hose on that outside hose bib and it freezes, copper will split and then it will just continually leak into the house, whereas PEX will actually expand and it can get to the size of a golf ball before it will burst.
Wow. Now you've got a lot of tools here. My husband
Yeah.
would love this. He's into tools. Can you explain some of these?
Yeah,
These are
so-
all for plumbing?
So having the right tool is absolutely necessary for the job. It takes about 2 days for these guys to rough in a house. Now, it's part of that's because they have the right tools to do the job. So this here to cut, remember that copper, a little
Right.
harder to deal with. To cut a PEX line, you just simply hold this. If you want to hold both ends of those, it's
Wow.
cut, ready to go.
Very nice. Is there any quicker way to do that? I mean, that's very efficient.
Yeah, now that's about as quick as it gets with the PEX line, but then
Alright.
there's PVC.
Yes.
So back in a few years ago, you used to have to take a handsaw like this and put it here and cut this. Very labor intensive and took a lot of time. Then people got smart and they started using a power saw. So this would rip through it pretty quickly. Now, just like the PVC cutter, or I'm sorry, the PEX cutter, now there's a PVC cutter.
Oh.
It cuts it very quick,
That was
very
slick.
nice, clean cut. You
That's
can see
awesome.
why modern tools today have greatly sped up the building process.
And I see why it's so important that you have a licensed plumber on site
Yeah,
to do
a
that.
licensed quality plumber.
Good gravy, Lonnie. Look at all these tools around here.
Yeah, it's really cool. You know, they brought the main water line into the house. Now, this house is under roof. And within a few days, they're going to put over 1,000 feet of plumbing in this house that's under roof. Yeah. That takes a lot of tools, takes a lot of materials. Don't ask me.
Do they call this a trap?
I don't know, but be real careful. You don't want to get your finger in it. I don't know. But I really don't know what the parts are. We need to bring a professional in. Luke, come on in and help us with some of these materials that we're going to be using in this house.
What all do we have around here?
Yeah, well, Lonnie, you mentioned this house is under roof, so this is actually the second time the plumber has been to this house. The previous time was the first rough, and if one of our previous episodes where we highlighted how to pour a slab, we showed that plumbing going in. So there's already about
Under the slab.
Yeah, there's already
Okay.
about half of that plumbing already run. So the plumber's here, and he's tying into those waistline and those supply lines.
I found this rod or staff. What in the world would that be?
Yeah, so this actually doesn't move water. This is actually a gas line, and our plumbers run that through to all of our appliances, our gas furnace, our power gas
Part of the
water
plumbing.
heaters.
Part of the plumbing. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
All right, look, how about this? What are these things?
Yeah, so now these are our water supply lines. Now some of our viewers at home may live in a little bit older of a house, and they would have copper lines daisy chained, so that way it basically runs all the way around the house to each of those fixtures. Now we actually use PEX. Now
Okay.
PEX stands for cross-linked polyethylene, and it's got a couple advantages over a copper. A, it's less expensive, so it helps keep the cost down, but then two, it actually can bend, which means we have less joints throughout the house. Now the other thing that we do, and we're going to show you a ManaBlock system later in the show, but there's actually a dedicated line run to every fixture, so you end up waiting for hot water less time than you do with the copper. And you remember how if you flush the toilet and then the shower will get real hot?
Yep.
This doesn't happen with this anymore.
That's good.
Yep.
And that is a Granite Ridge difference, isn't it? Because
Yep.
some builders don't do it that way with individual dedicated lines. I found this box. It's got moving parts, which is kind of cool. What is it?
So you found our washer box. So this is behind your washer, and there's a hot side and a cold side, and then there's also a drain there. So when you hook up that appliance, you got two water supplies and the drain line here. Makes it real nice, and it's a clean look.
And I hear when it comes to plastic, it just lasts a lifetime. So it's really a great investment, a great way to go with plumbing these days.
Yeah,
isn't it?
absolutely. Yep. All right, Izzy,
about
you got a
this
few
one
more
here?
things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now this is actually a mixer valve. So if you take this piece off here, this is actually in your shower when you go and turn on the shower and you adjust the temperature. This is what's behind the wall, and it's called a mixer valve because it's got two lines coming to it,
Okay.
and it will adjust how much hot water or cold water is coming to it.
That's
Hey,
nice.
Luke, what is this stuff?
That's actually that's an HVAC product where they're sealing up the ductwork. So.
It's not icing. Okay, I'm going to put that back.
But Izzy does have a plumbing product here. So this is actually what's underneath the toilets. So this is a toilet flange. So we got a couple guys in the house right now, and this is what they're setting in, a 3-inch line. And your toilet comes in later and bolts right into this area here. And you put a wax ring around it, and it's a nice tight seal.
Can I use one of these?
No, you better
Come on
watch
now.
where you're pointing that. Yeah, just
All right,
better
all
put
right.
that down.
All right, I will.
Let's get out of here.
Here at Granite Ridge Builders, we partner with some amazing companies around town, one of them being a Central Supply for all of our plumbing needs.
We have a lot of displays here at Granite Ridge Builders, but at Central Supply, they're completely dedicated to plumbing fixtures, and they have some beautiful displays.
Let's go take a look. It is going to really wow you. Hey everyone, we are here at Central Supply to take a look at all the wonderful plumbing items for your home here. We're surrounded by the great team that can help you with all of your needs. We have Don, Ben, and Karen, and if you come on into their great showroom, they can show you all of the wide varieties of finishes for your bathroom, kitchen, plumbing needs. Their showroom is located off of Wallace Street, off of Clinton. Really easy to get to. It is definitely worth your while. Call ahead for your one-on-one appointment so that you have some great service for you. They are here for all of your needs. We're going to take a look around this wonderful showroom, and they're going to give us a little snippet of some of the great features that they have here. Here at Central Supply, and I am so excited, Elizabeth. This is my favorite part here. You know, at the Granite Ridge showroom, we only have so much room for plumbing items, so we got to come here and take a look at all of the things that we couldn't fit, but that we have access to.
They have a great variety out here. One thing I want to mention is our tubs. We get a lot of requests for jetted tubs or Whirlpool tubs, but there are some differences when it comes to your jets.
There are. So one of the popular things a while back, and even still today, would be the Whirlpool jet. So that's just going to be your air and water coming through at different spots throughout the tub, anywhere from 4 to 10 jets depending on the tub system that you have. But now what's really making a comeback is air jets.
And what these are jets in the bottom of your tub that shoot up air, warm air. One of the big benefits to this is the cleanliness. For example, the water jets can get very dirty. You need to clean those. You could have mold, you could have mildew, but these are very, very hygienic.
And with the Whirlpool jets, they actually don't recommend using certain types of soaps just because of the things that can build up. But air jets, there are no worries. After the tub is drained, it's actually going to have a blower that blows the rest of the water out, so it, like Elizabeth said, it's completely free of any sort of mold concerns.
And these jets are more of a therapeutic type jet as well. So if that's the purpose for this, this is what you would want to choose.
And don't forget, when you're talking about your garden tubs, your freestanding tubs, you always have to have a really great faucet to go with it. And we've talked about this before, but what I love is a champagne bronze finish, and what Delta has now is a polished nickel finish that's more of that chrome with a little bit of that gold touch. Gold is making a huge comeback in a little bit of a new and updated way. You can check it out at our model at 8 Sienna Reserve.
Very elegant and classic.
Let's go see what they have over here, Elizabeth. I love this part right here.
So here we have some customized features, which is really exciting, especially again when we think of just the short history that we've got of plumbing that just so quickly has gone from carrying a bucket from outside into the house to now we have not only one sink, but sometimes secondary sinks inside a kitchen.
We do. So besides the kitchen, we would have a salad prep area or a wet bar prep area. You could do that in a sunroom or a master bedroom if you want to have a coffee bar there. And you have to think about, if you want that space to be designed for a certain purpose, what are you going to do to dress it up a little bit?
Do you want to put initials in there? Do you want to put your favorite food? So many different options to think about, and who knew there were so many things to think about when it came to designing the plumbing for your home.
You know, I really love how they can customize anything you're looking for those areas. Like Izzy said, you could have your initial, you could have this great martini little logo here, and with a olive twist just to go with it.
So Lon, we've been talking a lot about the history of plumbing here on this show, and it's hard to believe it, but it really was not that long ago that we had outhouses, and now we have indoor plumbing.
I remember at Grandma's house using an outhouse.
See, it really wasn't that long ago.
It really wasn't.
And again, now we've got more than one stool per house.
You're right. Our average Granite Ridge home has 3 stools in it, and they're come in all shapes and sizes now.
Yep. So we start with, your regular round bowl here, which is still your standards. Then we've got the elongated and the elongated and raised, which is a very popular option right now. It's basically going from 15 inches to a 17-inch height, which they call a comfort height.
It helps on the knees, it helps on the backs. There's a lot of people that are really excited about that toilet and are using it.
And we've also even addressed with having those ADA features, placing a grab bar, thinking ahead in the future for those options. Anything to really make sure that you've got that comfort when you use a stool. And as we address stools, of course, water is always a big interest. We used to have 5 to 10 gallons per flush, and then we got down to about 3.6 in 1974, and then now we're down to 1.6 or even better.
Right. I remember when they called them the water closets. They were actually this big container over the toilet. You'd pull the chain and down came like 5, 10 gallon of water, like you said.
So we've really made so much progress in such little time, and there's lots of new things for us to see.
Yeah, speaking of new things, we got one other thing we'd like to show our audience. Hey, go take a look.
I always like new things.
When we're talking about all the plumbing features, especially when we're talking about the showers, we need to think about how are we going to contain the water for your shower. One really great way is if you are into the barn door look and that rustic vibe, there's a new shower door out that has that same sort of system just like a barn door. So you could get that to your bathroom door, but you could also have it to your shower with this system here. It can be clear glass, obscure, but it's a great way to have a updated new shower door. Specialty Plumbing is the reason to come out to Central Supply to take a look at all of their great options here. One area that I love that's a really big trend right now is vessel sinks. It's really popular in a half bath or a setting where you really want to just make a little bit of a statement. So you have all sorts of options here. You have the metals and coppers and clear glass, all sorts of really great options. And don't forget, you really need to take a look at that faucet because that could be the setting part to that sink.
Kayla, one of my favorite displays at the Granite Ridge showroom is our shower heads. Now out here at Central Supply, they have a really impressive display for us.
I think they've outdone us for sure. They probably have 30 different shower heads to display here, and there's so many different ones. I've actually learned quite a bit coming here to see some of the new ones. Delta has a great shower head that if you're having a hard debate, do I do a regular shower head or do I do a rain can, they have it all in one now.
I love how some of these even incorporate LED lighting in the rain heads.
They do. They have LED lighting. They even have some movement. So the nozzles will move to make it more like a massage sort of a setting. So there are so many different options, and there's the rain cans, and the one above us here actually is lit. So there are some really, really cool options.
I'd like to see some of these work.
Yeah, so you know the guys were playing around with these displays before we started the segment, and we had to kick them out because they were having so much fun. But we'll show you what they're taking a look at here.
Let's see. Here we go.
Hey. I don't know, Elizabeth. Well, like.
Hey, it's real water.
It is real water. Like I said, they've definitely outdone us here. Take a look at all these new displays. Okay.
Yes, Tony, we did plumb for a gas line behind this range.
Oh, very nice. We can bring in gas or electric, but you know,
Yeah.
we could have plumbed for a pot filler.
Those are so nice to fill those big pots. You're right.
Ronnie, we got the water line already ran for the fridge. It's all
Good to
hooked up,
go?
ready to go.
You know, I drink about 8 of these a day to make sure I flush at least 8 times a day.
Oh,
Wow.
I gotta agree with that. Does this work? Does
Yep,
that-
I think we're
okay,
good
so
with
we got the
sprays, yeah.
island sink that works also. Cool.
You know, we've talked so much about plumbing, and we're not just talking about sinks and refrigerators and appliance plumbing. We've talked about the undergrounds and the in-slab plumbing. We've talked about the rough-ins and the outdoor. There's so many different things. It's not just your showers and your toilets and your sinks. It is our whole lives, really.
It really is, and when you consider all the master suites that we're doing with the vanities and the garden tubs and the amount of use we get out of that, the washing machines that we use. Anyways, it's just ubiquitous. I hope we proved to you that it should never ever be an underappreciated device in the house, the plumbing portion, and it is probably one of the most important parts of a house. It can average anywhere from $20,000 to $30,000 value in a home.
Yeah, that's 10%, and it can even exceed that if you go to an irrigation system for your yard.
Sure.
So as always, guys, we want to thank you for spending part of your day with us. If you'd like to learn a little bit more about who we are, what we do, and why we do what we do so well, please just pick up the phone, give us a call, visit the website below. Even better yet, come in the front door. We'd love to meet you. We'll welcome all you with a cold bottle of water.
And you know what else water is good for? It's refreshing.
You know, by the way, our office said they have a special surprise for us on how refreshing that water can be. They said they're out front. Let's go see what they've got for us.
What could
Plumbing
that
is really one of the better.
They brought some cold bottles for us.
Yeah, it sounds really good. I'm kind of thirsty right now.
I'm nervous.
Now this is called Pex. So that stands for cross-linked polyethylene.
Okay.
Wasn't the right word. Polyethylene.
Bring it right back
Yeah.
in. Yep.
Can you do a sensor? Put across it.
Incorrect, sir.
Now there's a PVC cutter.
Wow, a lot goes into this.
Maybe. Right? Scott, how do you use this again?
Well, hidey ho, neighbor.
We've got garden tubs. We've got water tubs in the wash.
Stools. We have water tubs in the wash.
Multicolored fiberglass. And now we're going to talk about special places like utility rooms, showers, and kitchens. Mixers. Traps.
Mixer. Oh, you want me to say that part?
Oh, I don't care. I mean,
Mixers, traps. That's where I
you
was
mean like
confused.
mixers, traps,
Okay.
and spigots? Yeah.
Oh my.
Okay, yeah.
Spigots, mixers, traps.